Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to the latest edition of not Global Atheist News. I nearly said Global Atheist News. I did that earlier. Free Thought Hour. Now, it's a bit different from the program that we advertised with a poster because Barry Desborough hasn't turned up. He's pulled out. And to be honest, I think it's the second time that we've booked him and he's pulled out. So I'm not very pleased. And I'm thinking we won't give him the chance again unless he's full of contrition. However, the good news is we do have Tersia. But let me just find the intro. It's down here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Free Thought Hour. And welcome, Tersia. How the devil are you?
I am doing well. I'm all windblown, so apologies for that. We have our yesterday was a public holiday. It was Women's Day in South Africa, and as scheduled, we had a very delightful stormy weather, sort of at the tail end of our winter, because it's September is officially our spring. Yes. But we needed some more stormy weather. So we've had gale force winds and we've had rain. I don't complain. But I'm all windblown because I was actually out. My folks have all the satellite dish TV because a sports devotee. He's actually an adherent of the god, his great Lord Ruggerbush, the oblong ball. But then we ended up watching the 400 meters main final.
Yes.
Relay, beautiful relay. Botswana came second. So there were 3 African teams. I was really impressed. South Africa, my country, and then Botswana and Zambia. So I'm here.
Botswana is a neighbouring country, isn't it? It's abutting South Africa. Yes. And your windswept look is quite fetching.
Thank you so much. Yes, and just my glasses broke. So just for the viewers, my glasses broke. I'll have to get new glasses. So I'm wearing my ugliest, old-fashioned glasses, so I can at least see. But I am so happy to see you again and to be back. And I hope we can.
Yes.
We're busking it. So we
are busking it. Yes.
We are free.
As I said at the opening, Barry's not turned up again. I'm pretty sure he failed to come on a previous occasion. Maybe you can remember, but I've been doing this for 3.5 years and it's all a blur. So I'd have to trawl through the archives to see whether he had failed to come previously.
John, how long in my mind it's also a blur. How long have I been doing this with you? As a coach?
Well,
more than a year.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's probably 2 years. Again, I'd have to trawl through the archive to see when you joined in.
But time flies when you're having fun, eh?
Absolutely, yes. I enjoy our meetups. Yes, and we have an audience member. Hello, audience member.
Who is it?
It doesn't let me know. Come and say hello in the text bar up the side. Whoever you are, you're welcome. So I want to give you some local news, which is that the Free Thought Productions family news, which is that Swedish Steve is in communication again. He's still not fully recovered, but he's back doing a bit of stuff now. And unfortunately, David, our fabulous New York panelist, he caught COVID when he was on his way to California. And so he's been knocked sideways and won't be available again until the middle of September. I didn't know, but apparently he is also a part man, part machine, like me, because we both had an artificial heart valve. I didn't know that he had, but apparently he's had to have shocks to his heart.
Oh
Uh,
dear! So he's seriously ill.
Well, he was fibrillating, so they've got him back on a sensible rhythm. And thanks for asking, but I've just had my MOT, and it's all fine, good as it was 10 years ago.
Well, I can see that. I don't have to ask how you're doing. I can see that you're doing excellently.
Yes,
So
thank
I
you.
know
Yeah.
that your machinery is still working fine. We won't get into my bionic bits because they're not that bionic.
I know.
They're in the
Yes,
nether regions. So let's
I
not go.
know. Yes, yes, yes. You
Let's
specialize in the unmentionable end of the human body, don't you? Yes. Mm.
yes indeed, yes indeed. Let's just be free and think and not go where we're not supposed to go. But yeah, I also spent Dream Dust. Hello,
Hello,
Dream Dust.
Dream Dust. Yes, welcome. We've never met Dream Dust before, have we? But new people are always welcome. So,
Be
but
nice. Let's hope
sorry.
Dream Dust. Let's hope Dream Dust will be nice to us and
Yeah,
say
yes.
nice things and
Dream Dust. Dream Dust. You're welcome to ask questions or make comments in the sidebar as you've just done. In fact, but I want to open the show by showing Barry that we don't need him. Okay, because his field of interest is evidence for evolution, specifically to do with endogenous retroviruses, which it takes a bit of getting the head round, but would you mind if I explained it to you?
only if you allow me to be a proper student and ask you to meet me where I'm at and begin by explaining and perhaps repeating the word endogenous.
Well, can I go through it in my order and that will come to light? Okay? Because it's best.
All right.
It's best. Hello, James. Thank you for watching. It's honestly, you'll find out really why it's best to build this story. Okay? So, first of all, we need to know that the normal course of action certainly in the more sophisticated and complex creatures, is for the message, the inheritable message, to be in DNA, right? But in order for it to be used to make anything, it's converted to RNA. Okay? So the normal process is to go from DNA to RNA, and then RNA is involved in protein synthesis and so on, enzyme manufacture, and the whole thing works. Okay? But retroviruses do the reverse, because viruses, almost all the viruses, there's one or two that have their blueprint in the form of DNA, but most viruses are RNA creatures. Their inheritable material is in the form of RNA. So when they invade a cell, their RNA can get used by the cell's mechanism to make viral proteins. But retroviruses do the reverse. They bring their RNA into the cell, and they've got an enzyme which enables it to be converted into DNA. Hence, retro. Yeah?
I get that. I got the retro part. But
Good. Okay. Now the end.
John, sorry. I have to. I do know that the R in RNAs is for ribonucleic acid.
Yep. Some people say ribose nucleic acid, but it's the same thing.
Okay. Yep. And the D is for what's the D for?
Deoxyribose nucleic acid. Right.
Okay. And that's why my very limited knowledge of the things that you're talking about now always boils down to the bottom line in my mind that everything boils down to chemistry.
Oh, yeah. And if you want to go further down, physics. That's a different hang on.
Yeah.
That's a rabbit hole that's not needed at the moment.
Go back to the retro.
We could have that discussion later. Okay.
Yep.
Right. So now the endogenous bit, right? That's a very good question that you asked. What does it mean? So these retroviruses, when they've made DNA in a cell that they've hijacked, they have the trick of being able to incorporate their DNA, viral DNA, into the nuclear DNA of their host. Okay. So the nuclear DNA is where all the messages for making whatever creature that is are stored, apart from the bits that make the mitochondria. Okay. So what they can do is insert their RNA converted into DNA into the host's DNA. And that's where we need the word endogenous. Endo meaning inside, genus meaning generate, breed, make. You know, it's the same Greek origin as Genesis. Okay, create. So this is a virus which can stick itself, its own replicating mechanism, its blueprint, into, for example, our DNA. Now, what does this mean? It means we can pass it on to our offspring. Okay, it's now not part of us, but an interloper incorporated into us that we can inherit from our ancestors and give to our descendants. Very cunning, isn't it? Okay, so now that we can decode DNA, we've got machinery now that can read DNA, we can recognize, oh, look, there's a bit of a virus. Not a bit of a human, say, but a bit of a virus. I know that sequence. It's a viral sequence. Okay? So what does this enable us to do? It enables us to recognize endogenously incorporated viral sequences generationally. In a family tree, we can see them going back to grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-great-grandparents, and so on. And for that reason, it's wonderful evidence for evolution, because we can see the same incorporated viral sequence in our ancestral species, going right back to a common ancestor, or at least showing common ancestry.
Surely that is microevolution?
No. Again,
you see what I'm doing? I'm trying very hard to play the devil's advocate here.
You're rabbit holing again. Micro and macro evolution are not part of this story. Sorry, I needed a slurp.
That's fine.
So what is James saying? How come viruses never randomly have positive effects like euphoria or extra energy or make me have a great hair day?
Can I answer that?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Because my answer is that
you're having a great hair day, aren't you?
Well, maybe I need a pair of scissors and a haircut. But as you were speaking, I was hearing some bells go off in the back of my mind somewhere, that not all viruses have negative effects, and that we might have positive effects from viruses. Maybe not maybe not good hair days, but maybe in ways that we haven't been, or maybe not euphoria. Although is that, no, that's a bacterium, the one that gets into the brains of mice and makes them not afraid of cats. And one of is that a virus or is it a bacterium?
I know the example that you're talking about. I haven't mugged up on that for tonight, though, I'm afraid. So it's there's another one that infects insects.
Yes, and it makes them climb to the stalks of plants where they can
Yes.
easily be. And
Yes.
it might be that James, maybe virally induced euphoria is not such a good idea, because it might lead us to do
Yes.
completely irresponsible things, like
Yes,
having
indeed.
sex with random people.
Okay,
Replication.
so can I have a go at this one then? So
Please do.
positive and negative are value judgments. And what we, in our exalted human condition, decide are positive and negative have no bearing whatsoever on the universe as a whole. Okay? And the imperative of the virus, or any organism, come to that, is not to even cause harm, like a lot of them do. Their imperative is solely to reproduce, the same as all animals. Okay? And if it causes their host too much harm, that's not a good idea, because it's reducing their possible population of hosts. So this is why, for example, COVID has become less virulent, because it's not in the interests of a pathogen to actually kill. They want to disable us a bit. Well, they don't want, but if they disable us a bit and we recover, that's good. They've still got another victim available. Okay.
And just on that topic of the mice and insect examples are parasites. You're right. Thank you, Dream Dust.
Thank you. Yes.
You're right. They're parasites. But
James,
John, on this idea,
James, I'm not going to open that can of worms just at the moment, but we will. We will later on, if you like.
Well, James is going where my thinking goes. Not when I start thinking. I will not say that I've studied physics, because watching Sabina Hossenfelder videos is not in any way contrary to popular belief. That does not mean that I've studied physics. But when I watch videos like that, I've become convinced that even physics, in the end, becomes chemistry. But like you said, John, let's not go there. But just on this topic of harm and viruses doing good or not doing good, and the idea of a host, I know that being okay. Let me backtrack a little bit. Even in our species, the gene that Richard Dawkins called the selfish gene, for a mother, it is actually
hold it. No,
okay.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. His publisher called it the selfish gene. Okay. He didn't really like the title, but the publisher reckoned it would sell.
Which it did.
Yes. Oh, have you frozen? Oh, no. Come back.
There we go.
She's broken. So I can tell you a bit about my plans for oh, she's coming, going. No, we've lost you. But I can tell you, wonderful audience people, a bit about the plans that we have going on here in London. And it's Hitchmas. You won't believe Hitchmas. Coming up to Christmas, to commemorate the sad death of Christopher Hitchens 13 years ago now. Time has been flying. He died on the 15th of December. So every Christmas we think of the anti-theist that he was, and how we sadly lost him so long ago. And we've often wondered whether we could have a wake, like the Irish do, to commemorate his life every year. And this year we're doing it. Yeah, James, we all miss the Hitch. What an orator, eh? Yeah.
I think I'm back, John. I don't know what happened.
You are.
Yes.
I
don't know what happened to the Wi-Fi. On the topic of the Hitchmas, I considering all sorts of crazy schemes to raise about £2,000, because if I can raise £2,000, then I can perhaps get a visa and a airfare to be there in person.
That would
To
be
assist
wonderful.
you, of course, to
Yes.
assist you with all the arrangements and to just sort of, I do not want to go only because I want to meet people like Lawrence Krauss and Richard Dawkins and Stephen Fry in person. I've met you, so that dream has come true. I've met you. I've met the most important. Now, you know, so if I can get together £2,000, and I'm considering all sorts of harebrained schemes, you know, maybe selling a kidney, that's one option. So if anybody there, I'm B positive, send your details, kidney, and then other possibilities include
Selling a child.
Doing what?
Selling a child.
Oh no, God, they're too old. No. If I had a baby, that would have worked. But I'm too old. John, who will buy a 17-year-old? I mean, that's the youngest one. Who is going to buy a 17-year-old from? You've met Hanu. He's very nice, but I still don't think anybody's going to buy him. Yeah. So, so babies. We have another guest, John.
Yes, we do. Yes. And we'll happily talk about that. And also we'll talk about the brouhaha about the opening of the Olympics with the Last Supper. I'm doing quotes, you know, because that's not what the man intended. So we're going to talk about. Do you want to speak on either of those things first, Tersia?
I'm not familiar with the Tony. Is it Tommy Robinson? Tommy Robinson? Is that the one brouhaha? I love that word, brouhaha. Brouhaha. I love it.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with.
By the way, you've inadvertently, or maybe even vertently, let the cat out of the bag that we have Stephen Fry.
Yeah. Was I supposed to? Was it a secret still? Is it all right?
No, it's just that I was going to do that.
I'm really, really sorry. You should have told me beforehand. You know, this is the problem, John. This is the problem with having a free thought hour. You know, there's freedom, and then people end up doing what you don't necessarily plan on them doing. I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
So let's talk about. Don't worry, I was joking. Let's talk about Tommy Robinson, because a brother whose name I can't pronounce, I'm afraid, because it's in Arabic. Is that Arabic? Not that one. This one.
There's a German there. I catch that as a German.
Do you? Okay.
Send us, brother. Please send us, brother Al Boj. Please send us a phonetic pronunciation of your name. We'd love to say that. It's interesting. We'd love that. Please, just type
we will. We'd like to be able to refer to you politely.
So Tommy Robinson, I'm not familiar. I've been with
Tommy Robinson. Right. Tommy Robinson is a middle-aged, I guess now, man who his real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, but he's long traded under the pseudonym of Tommy Robinson, and historically he was the leader of the English Defence League, which was a far-right organization that did a lot of violent protesting. That organization seems to have been broken up about 30 years ago, but his reputation as a far-rightist survives. And somewhat regretfully, Nuria Khan was interviewed by him a couple of weeks ago.
You know her. You've interviewed her?
Yes. Well, Nuria was a correspondent on Global Atheist News for a while before she took flight, you know, like many of our people do. And so I've been talking to her and explaining that Tommy Robinson is not everyone's cup of tea. And I've come over all English. And anyway, what's happening is the far right is kicking up a stink in many of our cities, and their target is Muslims. And I see James wants to send them back where they came from. That won't be very popular in liberal UK, you know, James. And anyway, this was prompted by a horrendous event in, where was it? It wasn't Scunthorpe. It was Stock. I can't remember.
The dance school attack.
That's right. Three children were knifed, and some other people, they were killed, and some other people were knifed and are maybe recovering. But the culprit of that event was 17 at the time. I think he's now 18. So we've been told his name, because obviously there's a cutoff under which you cannot be named in an illegal case. But he doesn't appear to have done it for any fundamentalist reasons associated with any particular faith. He's just a nutter. However, the far right put out on the internet lies that he was a Muslim killer, and these riots have sparked up as a result of that misinformation. So there's counter protests going on at the moment between the far right, who have been causing all sorts of damage, burning cars, breaking shop windows, stealing things, punching policemen. And we've now got, possibly thanks to Keir Starmer, our new prime minister, who used to be the he was the chief executive of the Justice Department. That may be not his correct title, but gives the idea of what he used to be before he became a politician. And so he's managed to get a very speedy system of arrest, charge, convict, jail. And these people have been slammed up in a few days. And it's a good message that is going out there, because we don't want our city centres to be wrecked in whatever cause. So look, we've got Otangelo. Hello, Otangelo. How the devil are you? Thank you for joining us. We're having a free-form conversation, Tersia and I, and taking questions from the audience.
Hello, Otangelo. I want to say that I've seen so many programs where Otangelo popped in on the side, and I'm a bit nervous because while I would really love to have a conversation with Otangelo, I'm really scared of being preached to as well. So yes.
He's been my guest before you joined me, Tersia. Some time ago, Otangelo was my guest. And we still respect each other, I think, although we profoundly disagree.
and that's what we stand for here. And I'd love to have a conversation with Otangelo one-on-one. So Otangelo, if you'd like to make contact with me, you can do so. You can look me up on Facebook. I don't know that'll necessarily be fruitful, but it's always worth a try, because one never knows. But just on this topic of the whole the horrific murder, the murders and the attack, you and I, John, have often condemned any form of fundamentalist violence, and we have also acknowledged that most fundamentalist religious crimes and attacks are done in the name of fundamentalist Islam. So you and I have absolutely no qualms about calling that out for what it is, and vehemently being vehemently outspoken against it. What I find really troublesome is that people with another agenda that I don't agree with, because I would by no means associate with any far right organization, neither in the UK nor in South Africa, nor in the USA or anywhere else, I suspect. It does way more harm to take this attack and falsely blame it on Muslim fundamentalism, because now you are just muddying the waters. Because when there is a real Muslim fundamentalist attack, you have muddied the waters to such an extent that it's almost impossible to have a proper conversation. Because then you have given those who want to who want to defend fundamentalism and religious attacks, you've given them a weapon to say, yes, but how do we know that they did this because of their religion? Don't do this. It's stupid. If the person who committed a barbarous attack did not do it because he said, I'm doing this in the name of Allah, or I'm doing this because I'm a Muslim, don't ascribe that motive, because it damages it muddies the waters. So what the hell?
Yes.
What was the person thinking?
What you're saying is that most Muslims are moderates and very nice people, and it's only fundamentalists that we should condemn. Yes.
But Tangelo says he never preaches. Well, you're welcome to preach if you want to. It's just that preaching doesn't make for nice conversations. But I'm very brave. Oh, and what I do agree with Otangelo there is that I don't know what he's particularly referring to, but he says it's not a black and white issue, and very few things are black and white issues. Most things are way more complicated and complex than we would like to make them.
So he's now inviting himself to join us in the studio. And in the past, when he's done that, I've been reluctant to let him in because he's a one-track. I'm a Christian, and he's got masses of sources, all written by him, which he yes I know yes which he uses to back up his claims, and that's the reason why. I might let you in near the end, Otangelo, but at the moment we've got plenty to talk about without having any other people in the studio. So let's go on to the Last Supper tableau that was on the Seine at the 2 weeks ago when they did the opening ceremony for the Olympics. What's your view on that, Tersia?
I'll try to be as concise as possible. Number one, I did not watch it personally. I was busy with other things. No reason. I was just busy. So I did not have 4 hours to spend on watching it. My family members watched it. My mom and dad spent the entire evening watching the entire 4 hours. And they were mostly very positive. They thought it was really artistically very well done. I would say that 90% of it they found entrancing and really, really enjoyed. My mom was a little bit uncomfortable with some of the nudity in some of the scenes. But when I say she was a little bit uncomfortable, she said that it was, in her opinion, sort of touching on, she wasn't comfortable with that. But while saying that, she did acknowledge that it's a matter of personal taste.
Yeah. Well, they were wearing body stockings, and this was in keeping with all the statues that you see all over Paris. So it was artistic. That was. But I watched the whole thing.
Before you continue, sorry. On the topic of body stockings, I have the opinion that below the waist, humans shouldn't even be wearing body stockings, because even with a body stocking, sometimes a body stocking makes it look more unappealing, in my opinion. But that's my personal opinion.
Yes. So this is another rabbit hole. So what do you think about statues and sculpture then that show all the bits in their glory?
It's different when it's carved out of stone or marble, and it's crazy. but human fizzly bits in the flesh, I personally find them extremely unattractive. I don't think they're aesthetic, and in a body stocking, I find them even less aesthetically appealing. But somehow, when it's chiseled out of marble, it doesn't bother me at all, because to me that is really artistic. Because to make marble or stone come to life like that is different from putting some lycra over a real ugly bit of body.
Of course, that marble was carved thanks to a naked model.
Yes, but I don't have to see the naked model.
You weren't there, yes.
I don't have to see the naked model. And I just want to say this very, very explicitly. This is my personal opinion. I love breasts. I love naked breasts. They're beautiful. I don't mind naked breasts.
Hang on. This is a family show, please.
No, but I want to say I find human reproductive organs extremely ugly. They really are not nice to look at. So that's my opinion. And that doesn't mean that I should take offense when they are artistically expressed. And that's the bottom line that I want to come to.
Okay. So can we move on from that and your personal preferences? Because James has got a really good idea here. The marble resembling body stocking. And I think
they've tried that. I think they've tried
it's
that.
more or less been done, isn't it? Because they have these, I don't know how to describe them, but they have these people who busk, but they pretend to be a statue, and they've been covered in silver paint or something. I don't know what you call those people, but it's a form of raising. They've got a hat, and you put money in it because they've entertained you. So
shall I try that to raise my £2,000 for the Hitchmas?
As you wish.
That's a nice topic. Okay, but John, I just want to get back to my final opinion on the opening of the Paris Olympic Games. Before we watch tomorrow night's closing, which I will be certain to watch. So I will have. I hope there's something nice there to talk about. After reading many articles in English and in Afrikaans, because in South Africa the pearl clutches had their underpants in a tiff and the bra straps were all cooked around their necks. It was terrible. In Afrikaans, it was even worse. I've come to the conclusion that it's not the so-called parody of the Last Supper that's the issue here. The issue is that it was done in drag. That's by LGBTQ people, because there are tons of parodies in various forms of the Last Supper. There's one with Marilyn Monroe. There's one with Asterix and Obelix. And I'm willing to place a bet, and maybe we can make a nice short TikTok video of this. I am willing to place a bet that if the organizers of the Olympic Games opening had a parody of the Last Supper featuring Asterix and Obelix and Getafix and Dogmatics, there would have been absolutely no outcry from anybody.
Maybe not.
The issue is not.
I like the idea. Would you put Dogmatics in the middle of the dining table?
I don't know. No, I'd have him fluttering about, swinging in the back like the Holy Spirit. That's what I'd have. I'd have Dogmatics as the halo.
So Obelix in the middle, maybe then, or Asterix himself.
No. I think Obelix would be Paul, and I think I saw there is actually such a parody in existence. And the wizard, what is his name? Something, the magic guy. He's Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'd have Asterix as maybe I don't know, but it was not done to mock Christianity.
No,
it was. That is the thing. That is the flaw, because having a parody of the Last Supper is not mocking Christianity.
Well, not even that, because the creator of the tableau says that's not what he had in mind. He had a bacchanalian feast from, I don't know, a previous history, long before Christianity.
John,
That's
I know that, and I know that that's what he says, and I take that at face value. But I think my point is really important, and that is that even if he did do a parody of the Last Supper, let's say he did, which he didn't, which he claims not to have, I can see why it looks like it. But even if he did, that would not be mocking Christianity, because the Last Supper is one image of one brand of Christianity's impression of one so-called event that took place. And
yes, yes.
I think that's my analysis, and I think there shouldn't even be a discussion whether it was the Last Supper or a Bacchanalian festival.
Indeed. I mean, we know that it's just some artist's impression, because even if there was such a thing as a Last Supper, and there's no evidence for that, how likely is it that they would all be on one side of a table so that the photographer could snap them? That is just ridiculous.
But besides that, the Last Supper has nothing to do with Christianity.
Mm.
And doing any sort of...
There are biblicalists who would say the opposite. They would say that it's written in the Bible. There was a Last Supper. Jesus was there. Thomas came and spoke.
Let me rephrase. The painting, The Last Supper, has nothing to do with Christianity.
Mm.
And doing a parody of that painting is not a parody or a mocking of Christianity. And that's the flaw in the thinking that gets me the most. And I haven't heard any analysts say that. But to me, that gets to the bottom of it. What would be blatant mockery of Christianity would be a scene of the crucifixion. That would be.
Well, maybe
that is central. The crucifixion and the symbol of the cross, that is central to Christianity.
Yes, okay. But let me say that I think all religions are fair game for mockery. I'm in favor.
Whoop, whoop, I agree. I could not agree with you more. And that is perhaps what I want to get to as a final analysis of the whole hullabaloo, hoo-ha, brouhaha. It's so ridiculous. Yes. And it shows to me the entitlement of Christians. Why should religion not be mocked?
Indeed. And not just the entitlement of Christians, but Muslims, if anything, are even worse. You can't even say the word Muhammad without saying peace be upon him or something, and have a fear of being executed with a machete. So all of this is stifling free speech. We're the Free Thought Channel. We don't like it. Got that?
Yeah. And if you want to get your panties in a twist over that, well, I'll get you some more panties. Even ones with them. I can even consider finding some with a marble print on them.
Well, now you're going below the waist, you see, so you're breaking your own rule.
Yes, but I'm not looking at it.
Okay, I'll believe you. Yes. So,
but John, on that topic of offending and taking offense, on my Afrikaans show, I had two conversations, one with an advocate and one with an Old Testament scholar. We've had Saki Spangenberg on. We've had him on as a guest on our show. So I now do a weekly show with him in Afrikaans. And we had a discussion about this too. And we were talking about what is the real offense? That was what we spoke about. And the bottom line is that offense is taken. Offense is not given.
Yes, exactly.
And
it may be occasionally given. I mean, if I wanted to offend somebody, I could do it. But I think 90% of the time, I don't want to offend somebody, but they take it.
no. Even if I want to give offense, it still has to be taken. I think.
Well, yes, but the point is that it's taken where it wasn't intended to even be offensive.
Yeah.
These are the snowflakes who find all sorts of things offensive that ordinary people wouldn't. But if I wanted to offend you, I'd call you fat and ugly, and you would feel offended.
I would not. No, that's the thing, John. I would not feel offended if you called me fat and ugly, because firstly, I am at least 10 kilos overweight, and I don't think I'm extremely beautiful.
Okay.
But that's the point I want to prove.
Okay. So you're fat, ugly, and short-sighted. I'm going to get this.
Absolutely. That's why I need glasses.
Oh, you see how bad I am at offending people. I'm a complete failure.
Well, maybe, John, maybe you are flattering yourself. Maybe you are not bad at giving offense. Maybe I am just very difficult to. Maybe it's just impossible for me to take offense.
No, maybe.
Are you offended by that? Are you offended by me telling you that you're very bad at giving people offense?
Oh yes. Oh no. Oh dear.
James is giving me a compliment, and I find that absolutely not offensive. Although I find it very funny. James says that I'm the channel's eye candy. I'll own that. I'll take that.
Yeah, I've announced you as the eye candy, and James has been watching us long enough to know that that's what you're termed. Yes.
James, I don't find that offensive. And just on that topic of eye candy and offense and taking offense and giving offense, there are women who find it offensive.
Yes, to be described as pretty. Yes.
Described as pretty.
I can't get my head around that, I'm afraid. That's really weird. But James, you do realise that before Tersia joined me, which was, I don't know, 2 years ago or whenever, I had to be the eye candy myself. How desperate was that?
but James, I thank you for the compliment. But you are proving my point that offense is 100% taken and not given, because I know women who would be offended if somebody called them eye candy.
Yes. There are women who are offended if you open the door for them because they think you're being condescending or patronizing. Yes.
You're being condescending. Well, yeah.
Changing times, these are. We've got to get used to all these new attitudes. So, should we let Atangelo join us for the last 10 minutes?
Let's give Atangelo. Yes, let's do. Let's see how.
Should we leave it? Should we leave it for another 5 minutes?
No, John. Let's give Atangelo 10. Well, there's 12. Technically, there's 12 minutes. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how many rounds Atangelo can last. In a boxing match, 1 round is 3 minutes. Let's see if Atangelo can last. Well, let's see if you and I can last 3 minutes against Atangelo. Let's see who throws in the towel first.
Here's his latest comment. Look. Well, which James Bond? Which one?
Which James Bond? John, why don't you get Atangelo on stage? I'm just going to get myself.
Okay. The rumor, Atangelo, you go ahead, Tersia. The rumor, Atangelo, is that the next James Bond will be black or possibly a woman. So there you go. And this is coming on the basis that Doctor Who has been female recently and is currently black. So what a world, eh? Nothing's fixed, is it? Everything is changing. So Atangelo is here saying, oh, no, this is James. Sorry, James. I agree with Tersia in principle about offences taken, not given. But at the same time, I admit I'm hard to offend, but I find Christianity to be offensive. Well, I find every heinous activity that harms other human beings, I find that offensive. and Christianity certainly sometimes guilty of that, and in the past was very much guilty of that. Yeah. So okay, let's send Artangelo the invite then, shall we?
Yes, I have water. I don't have a mouth guard. I don't know what we need to. I've never battled a Tangelo.
Well, I don't know that it will be a battle. I mean, he's basically a nice fellow. He's got children, and there you go. You see, that proves it.
Okay.
Ah,
Battle.
look, it's
Battle of Wills.
look who's joining us. It's the Afro
Esther.
Atheist. Yes, hello again. It's a long time no see, Esther, but you're welcome. Here's Tangelo. There he is in his glory. Look, he's just like James Bond, only even better.
Yeah, hello.
How the devil are you?
Yeah, doing great. Yes.
Yeah, good. Are you still in Brazil?
Yeah.
And you've got a good signal. Yep. And what's going on in Brazil? You've just had an aircraft crash into was it San Paulo?
Paulo, yes.
Yeah. That was very sad, wasn't it? Nobody knows why it fell out of the sky, but everybody on it was dead, killed.
Yeah, it was yesterday, so I think they'll need some time to figure out what kind of technical problem that caused the crash.
Yeah, I think the current idea is icing of the engines, and without engines, an aircraft can't stay up long, can it?
Yeah, that's the technicians to figure out and tell what happened.
Artangelo, like I say, I've often watched your interactions on the Talk Heathen and on some of the American. I say stall due to ice. That's the plane that fell. What's your day job? Can you tell us, or is it a secret? If you're James Bond,
It's no secret. I'm a land developer, or maybe in English, a landlord. So I buy big plots of land on the periphery of cities in my state, and I develop them. I put energy, legalization, water, and the infrastructure, and then I sell the small plots so people can build their houses on the land.
Yeah, okay. He's got to do it. That's a very good thing to do. We need
more. Currently, I'm more incorporating. That means I just make a joint venture with companies that do it, and I just enter with the land, and I get the share of the business, basically.
Yeah. And how's your family?
Yeah, we are doing great. Yeah.
Good. How old are they now?
I have a daughter. She is 10 years old. Yeah.
Are you Roman Catholic? Am I right?
No, I'm actually an evangelical Christian. So I grew up Roman Catholic, but when I was 18, I converted to become an evangelical Christian.
Wow, that is so interesting.
So that's interesting. So what turned you off Roman Catholicism?
Well, let's say it like this. I was 15, 16, something like that. I went through depression. I was looking to find a way out. I didn't even know what I really had, but I mean, today there is a clinical treatment, but at the time I didn't know what it was. I was looking for a way out, and I didn't. I mean, I was maybe not a practicing Catholic anymore, but I said, well, I need a solution for that. Let me start to pray again and see if that some kind of way helps.
So it's a condition that you had. You don't need to share this with us if you don't want to, but it was some medical or psychological condition that you decided.
I have no way to verbally explain exactly what I went through.
Yeah.
But I had suicide attempts, so it was quite
Mm.
it was serious. Okay, so
And you're
yeah.
now on a treatment, which is very good.
No,
Good.
no. I was 15 when this happened. 15 years old. I was a teenager, and um, I started to pray, and somehow I felt that it was working. And
Oh,
I
I
said,
see.
"Well, I'll keep seeking God," and that was basically the starting point. Then
Right.
someone invited me to go to an evangelical church. I went there. I started to read the Bible. They were answering my questions, and they explained me the gospel that we are saved not through. I mean, I don't want to preach, but since you are
No,
asking me, so
this is not
Yeah.
preaching. In my view,
yeah,
answering a question, and that's not.
yeah,
I'll tell
right,
you.
right,
I'll
Well,
tell
I'm
you when I
glad.
think we're starting to preach at Angelo.
I'm
yeah.
glad you found something that has solved your problem. And
Indeed, I've never had I never went through this again after that.
good,
Okay?
good. Yes.
So yeah. So I find community. I found people that were answering my questions. It was
Yes.
basically the starting point. I was 18,
Yes.
so I'm basically 40 years on that trajectory now.
Uh-huh. Mm.
My next question for you, Atangelo, is whether you think that Roman Catholics are Christians.
I was in my earlier years more radical in the sense that I was thinking, well, since they are holding to so many non-biblical beliefs that they could not be considered Christians. But I met so many fine Christians in my life, and some I would say they maybe even um, follow Christ's command to love your next as yourself, and so forth, even closer than evangelicals. So I am not so radical anymore, in my opinion. I
Oh,
think there can be Catholics which have a genuine faith in what the Catholic Church teaches, and they are generally Christians.
yeah. Tolerance comes with age, doesn't it? For most of us, hopefully.
Uh,
Yes.
Yeah.
well, in my case, and that leads to my with 3 minutes to go, so we probably will not be able to finish this. I'm really enjoying our conversation. Thank you so much, Otangelo, for not preaching so far.
You're going to ask your question, Tersia.
No, not tonight. Otangelo is not an official guest, so I will not ask my question. I want to ask Otangelo what your opinion is on somebody like me who was a evangelical Christian. I walked the walk, I talked the talk. I was, for the first 40 years of my life, I was 100% committed to Jesus Christ. I would probably have agreed with you 100%. The difference between John and myself is that John has always been an atheist. I turned atheist, I believe, when I allowed myself to think critically. What is your opinion of somebody
Oh,
like
well,
me?
Well, Tersia, I think that we should all respect other people's beliefs. So when I have an interaction with atheists, it's never my goal to try to convince others about my beliefs. It is just about me telling why I believe the way I believe, and then leave it to others to make of it whatever they want. So I think
so
this is important that we don't try to impose what we believe to others.
Okay.
So this is why, Tersia, you can see this is why we've retained our friendship, Atangelo and I. It's because we are both against division. And the only difference between us is I think that religion is a major cause of division, and Atangelo doesn't.
Yeah, no, I don't
Is
think
that right?
so. And I think The only difference, I mean, there are many Christians which have a feeling or a thought that they are superior to non-believers. And I always say, I think I am in any way better than anyone else. The only difference is that I think I've received grace by the Lord and someone else has not yet. But what isn't today can be tomorrow. So that's all.
Okay, well, we have run out of time, but I think maybe we've started something that needs to, at least Otangelo and I, because I would like to dig a little bit deeper into what your opinion is on a person like me who's no longer a Christian. But we're not going to do that now because John is a very, very strict taskmaster, and I cannot convince him to continue. But Otangelo, it is lovely to talk to you for a few minutes. Thank you so much. Go well, stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy your family. And on that note, I know that John is going to make us say goodbye. So I will say goodbye.
Not quite, because I want to announce that next week, there won't be a Free Thought Hour because I'm the president, actually the executive president, of Atheism UK, and it's our AGM in Oxford next week, so I won't be available. Tersia, if you would like to host a Free Thought Hour without me, feel free, and you might even find a possible guest.
Maybe we should make use of Otangelo's time if he has it, and you and
I don't know.
We'll chat. We'll chat. I'll possibly be available. So let's see how that goes. We'll be in contact.
I do want to say that the week after, on 24th, we have a lady guest by the name of Sarah Voldman, Valdman. And I'm not going to say anything more about her at the moment because I can't remember. But I know she's an interesting person that I bumped into in social media, and she will be a lovely guest. Okay, so yes, thank you very much, viewers, future viewers. Thank you very much, guest Otangelo, last minute guest. Thank you very much, co-host Tersia. That's this way, yes, because StreamYard reverses everything, so I've got to point the wrong way. And say goodbye, everyone. And I'll see if I can find the outro. I've got a guestless outro here somewhere. Guestless. There it is. Go.